First story, the former board chair of the Ghana Airports Company Limited, Paul Adom-Otchere, has been recalled by the Office of the Special Prosecutor shortly after being released from the custody. His release came after the OSP accepted revised bail conditions proposed by his legal team. Mr. Adom-Otchere, along with two others, is facing formal charges in connection with an ongoing investigation into a revenue assurance contract awarded without competitive procurements. The contract awarded to a private firm owned by proprietor of Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited has raised concerns over transparency and due process. Initially, the OSP granted Mr. Adom-Otchere bail on the condition that he provide two landed properties registered in his name. However, he informed the investigator that he does not own any such properties in Ghana, complicating compliance with the original terms. Following this, new bail terms were proposed and subsequently accepted by the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Despite his brief release, Mr. Adom-Otchere was recalled by the OSP, which described the move as part of administrative procedures and not an indication of further charges. Well, speaking to journalist Mr. Kiseja being justified the bail conditions, saying the office does not use bail to punish individuals, family, stressing that the OSP does not oppose bail when they charge suspect to court.
Of bail. You see, in this institution, and as required by law, we do not use bail to punish individuals. No. Indeed, when we go to court, we charge people when we go to court. We don't oppose bail. Director prosecution, have we ever opposed bail? Last week Wednesday, I did an arraignment in respect of the MPA matter. When we got to bail, I just got up and told her leadership that we are not opposed to bail, so we are leaving it in her charge. We don't oppose bail. We do not use bail to punish individuals in this office. What we do is just to secure by law your attendance in respect of the investigations, and if we are minded to take you to court if we think we have the requisite evidence. So here, when you are, and this is to the general public, when you are invited, it's not an invitation. When you are directed to come here as a suspect, mind you, you have to post bail, and that is why in the direction, the communication directing you, we tell you that you may come along with counsel of your choice.
So that's a Special Prosecutor Lawyer Kiseja being there. Meanwhile, legal counsel for the former board chair Paul Adom-Otchere, Nicholas Lenin NEJ, has criticized the bail conditions set by the Office of the Special Prosecutor as unreasonable and punitive.
The statement by the OSP and all honesty is out of place. The challenge that the OSP has set is essentially to give the dog a bad name so that you can hang it, because it is unreasonable in the context of bail to require an accused person to produce properties in his own name. What the OSP is essentially saying is that persons who lack properties or poor people in this country cannot own or cannot make bail in this country. The shocking fact is that while taking the profile of the suspect indicated that he does not own any landed property. And so for the OSP to set two landed properties in his name as precedent for his bail condition is essentially concluding to hang him and detain him. And so we find the bail conditions very unreasonable. It is akin to asking the person to buy bail, and we think that it is completely out of place for any reasonable law enforcement agency to require such bail conditions. But the fundamental point remains that these conditions that have been set by the OSP is calculated to detain Paul Adom-Otchere and nothing else.
So that's one of the legal counsel for Paul Adom-Otchere, Nicholas Lenin NEJ. Let me go on the phone line and speak to private legal practitioner Christian Mam Hesse. Counsel, good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time and your patience on the line.
Good evening, my brother, and thanks for having me.
Great. So first, let's understand this. What revise two landed properties of no value? Would you say this condition as an abuse of the process?
You see, the OSP under the types of bill could have come under two types. The remaining two is for the court. The two types are self-recognizance bill, and police inquiry bill. The others, they are bill pending appeal and the other. The important thing is that a self-recognizance bill is based upon somebody who is notoriously known as a prominent person or a man of substance and a public person or a public figure. So in that situation, given the circumstances that this person cannot run away from justice and all of that, self-recognizance bill is granted. So he's granted bill to himself. He stands surety that I will present myself at all times. Then the police inquiry bill deals with the fact that they get a surety to show that indeed the man will stand for investigations and will go through the criminal justice system. And where the police wants to be sure that this can be carried out, would ask for justification. So landed properties and other things would come in. Now, but it is not the case that the suspect is to provide landed properties. And in the rare situation, as we found, is that the suspect is asked to provide landed properties. The suspect says that I do not have the properties you're asking of. So what do? You only need to vary what you're asking of the man, because you cannot give that which you don't have. You get it? So, I mean, it need not to have traveled this wavelength for whether legal scholars to put in for the right thing or, well, their lawyers did their job and they impressed on the OSP, and there has been a revision of the bill term, because definitely it ran contrary to Table number 1 and Table number 2, and it's also contrary to Article 14, which guarantees personal liberties, which form the foundation for Lawyer Kwebu's 2 cases at the Supreme Court. So at least I'm not going into detail as to the veracity of the investigation, but this bit of the hula baloo that degenerated into all of this, it shouldn't have happened in the first place. Because bill, the reason behind bill, or the philosophy behind bill, especially under Section 96 of Act 29, it's not for bill to be used as punishment, but to satisfy the court must be satisfied that, or in this situation, the investigative body must be satisfied that the person will not jump bail. And with the incidence of Table number 1 and number 2, all offenses are bailable. And where the police or the investigative authority is not too satisfied in its mind, would arraign the person quickly within 48 hours and have the court determine the bail terms. So we are happy that I stand for human rights. And it has no bearing as to what is happening, but once it's against the human rights of the person, some of us will put our mouth in. And it's good day that he has varied the bill terms so that he could go on with his investigations.
I see. But was it legally appropriate for the OSP to initially set bill conditions that the suspects could not realistically fulfill that?
I hold the humble view in law that the OSP could not, because once the OSP did that, it meant that the bill was now becoming a punishment. And the man had told you that I do not have. And he further indicated, unless what was reported was not said by Mr. Adom-Otchere, that the property that he occupies and possesses is in the name of the mother, is his mother's property. You see, so this matter shouldn't have generated news. I mean, it shouldn't have generated news.
I see. Now, does the fact that Mr. Adom-Otchere doesn't own property in Ghana affect his legal standing or presumption of flight risk?
No, in no certain terms. If the OSP is of the view that the gentleman can jump bill, travel out of the country, flight risk, as part of their bill terms, you could tell him that he reports to the OSP once every week, or he deposits his passport at the OSP. You know, it's all part of the bill terms that the courts vary, or even the police. And the OSP is an investigative authority that is cloaked with the power to arrange such bill conditions, you know.
I see. Well, so what's the typical process for revising bill conditions, and who ultimately decides whether they are acceptable?
Oh, indeed, the bar stops with the investigative authority, like the OS, or if it's the police too. Yes. So, like I indicated, the police has the option to exercise whether it's going to do self-recognizance, or it will do police inquiry, or will put the person before the court for the court to determine the bill conditions. And if the matter is already in court, then we would have the fourth one, which would be bill pending appeal. Yeah. So the OSP, like any other investigative authority, is cloaked with the mandate to arrange bill terms, and that is legal. But immediately the bill terms becomes impossible to meet, then they're looking, and then it could now look at, is it going to affect the human rights of the person?
Okay.
Is it reasonable in law to procure such bill terms? If these questions cannot be answered, and the OSP or any other investigative authority asks a matter of this nature could be before, it will then be for the lawyers of the suspect to go to court and by an application to have the bill term as set be varied to make it more reasonable and defeat the purpose that it should not be punishment.
I see.
But it should ensure that the person would cooperate with what you call it, investigation, and also when it comes to court, the person would attend court. That's all. So the value of the property is contractual, so that if he fails to produce himself in court, then the property could be liquidated in the sum of whatever prosecutorial sum they are going to put before the court. That is the whole reasoning behind bill bonds. So now it used to, those times, if one jumps bill, it becomes criminal. But upon revision of the law, the evolution of the law, it has become contractual. So if a surety puts up his property as justification, that would show up should the person jump bill. So we have your property. So if we set it 2 million, we say that, okay, if you're unable to produce this person, this is what your property would be used for. So this is it. So it is not meant to be a punishment, or you should know, but it's a contractual relationship to ensure that justice delivery would go on smoothly while the person presents himself before the oracle of justice.
I see. Well, let's leave it here. But people also of the view that he was just a board chair, but then the CEO is also there. So why keep an eye on the board chair whilst other board members, including the CEO, was also part of whatever might have been orchestrated?
Okay, that's also a very good point. And I mean, in the annals of company law, we have the hierarchy and we have the board, and then immediately after the board, you have management.
Yeah.
Management, they deal with the executive duties of the company. That's the day-to-day operation. So it is headed by the managing director, or in some cases, the executive director. So where probably the OSP has an intel that even though the board, there could be certain things that the board chair might have done in respect of what has happened. So I will not shudder to go in, because that is investigation. And with investigations, the scope could be widened.
Okay.
Who knows, tomorrow the MD or the executive director could be brought in.
Very
So
well.
that's why it deals with the investigative mandate, and nobody can guard the OSP on who to bring in or who not to bring in. It is about the intel that they have, and because further investigations will lead to whether other persons would be apprehended, their statements taken, and when the exculpatory evidence is evaluated, they will now come to a conclusion whether we prosecute Mr. A, Mr. B, or Mr. C. Probably Paul might not even be part of the people that, or the persons that they will put before the court finally. After probably initial investigations and statements that he's been given, because he's been cautioned.
Yeah.
He might be dropped out, and OSP would concentrate on other people. Or he could be part for him to go and justify other evidence that he's been able to gather around, So it's early day yet, but it's because the OSP put these human rights issues up. That's how come it generated all of these news, which hitherto shouldn't have been the case if he had managed this thing well.
Fantastic. Council, thank you so much for your time this evening. I'm grateful. So that's private legal practitioner Christian Mam Hesse helping us in this particular discussion. So on the Facebook page of the Office of the Special Prosecutor, this is what was posted. It says that the Office of the Special Prosecutor has accepted revised bail conditions proposed by legal counsel for Mr. Paul Adom-Otchere, former board chair of the Ghana Airport Company Limited. The revised terms, which meet the objectives of the original bail conditions, have been secured by the Jospond Group of companies acting as surety. The matter remains under active investigation by the Office of the Special Prosecutor. So end of what's the OSP talked about. So this is a very interesting discussion that in the coming days we'll be keeping an eye